Hey, what's up guys, Pratima here. So if you look at the current smartphone lineups from basically every brand, they're getting quite boring, especially the mid-range ones. Honestly, they're all starting to look the same. And I think to understand this, we need to go back to the day when the COVID-19 pandemic started, which led to the global chipset shortage and the whole supply chain issues. However, during that time, the demand for smartphones was at its peak since a lot of young folks needed a new phone for their online classes. And practically everyone just had extra money to spend on a new gadget since we were all locked up at our homes and had nothing else to spend on. But right now in 2022, smartphone sales are declining. The chipset shortage is still a thing. There's been a COVID resurgence in China, and there's also the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war as well. So what companies have been doing lately, especially the BBK group that owns OnePlus, Oppo, Vivo and Realme, is that they're just repackaging these phones and launching them in a different name to push higher volumes or clear out the stock. So yeah, all this has led to smartphones becoming a lot more boring. And something for a change was inevitable. So when Carl Pei, the co-founder of OnePlus, backed by a lot of successful names in the tech community, said that they were going to launch their very first phone called the Nothing Phone 1 and said that it's going to be a breath of fresh air to the sleepy smartphone market. You bet that I was beyond excited to see what it has to offer. And the best thing is that we don't even have to wait for too long either, since this thing is launching next month on July 12th. They've recently showcased the phone's design itself too, and I have to give it to them, it looks quite interesting. Just like Nothing's first pair of wireless earbuds, it features a transparent design and wireless charging. Now, I know that not everyone's going to like it, but I like the brand's philosophy and the courage to do something different here. It will also feature dual cameras, so no nonsense gimmicky macro and depth sensors, and that is absolutely amazing. As for the rumors, this phone is not going to be a flagship phone, but rather an upper mid-range phone that should cost around 35,000 rupees in India. For that, you're getting the Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 chip, 120Hz refresh rate, AMOLED screen, 45-watt fast charging, and at least a 4500 mAh battery. So yeah, these specs don't seem any extraordinary, especially in markets like India where we can find multiple phones with better specs like say the iQOO 9 SE that I recently reviewed or the OnePlus Nord 2T that I am currently using as my daily driver. These are fantastic mid-range phones. But contrary to how OnePlus penetrated the market with its competitive pricing strategy, I guess Carl Pei and his team are not interested in going down the same road. Instead, Nothing wants to replicate Apple's cohesive ecosystem of products, and that is a big, bold claim that they've made. And dismissing every other company's ecosystem or criticizing their attempt at building one feels like an unnecessary hot take. Just listen to what Carl Pei said on the stage just about a month ago.
If you want products that connect and work seamlessly together, the only choice is Apple. The MacBook, the iPhone, the iPad, AirPods, they all work together the way you want. Yet as soon as you leave that ecosystem for a Windows PC or an Android phone, it breaks down. There's no alternative to Apple. This means that consumers don't have a choice and innovation slows down. And that's not right. That's why there's Nothing.
So yeah, it does take some courage to claim that they're building the most compelling alternative to Apple. Even companies like Samsung, with such big reputation for innovation, has been struggling to create an ecosystem that's as seamless as Apple's. That's because Apple has granular control over every product in its ecosystem because, well, it owns and thus has direct authority over all the products, both hardware and software. On the other hand, Nothing explains that its approach to an ecosystem involves both first-party products from Nothing and third-party products from other companies like Tesla's electric vehicles and Apple's earpods integrated to work effortlessly with each other. That means, compared to Apple's fabled walled garden, it has very little control over how the ecosystem will shape up to be. It's pretty easy to imagine that not all device makers might want to be a part of the Nothing ecosystem in the first place. Likewise, it's also going to be interesting to see how its actual UI and UX performance will be. At the heart of it all is the Nothing OS, which the company says will deliver the very best Android experience through all its memory optimizations, unique graphical elements, and more. To give a little taste of what's in store, the company even launched the Nothing launcher for public download a couple of months ago. But for something so highly anticipated, it turned out to be pretty meh. I guess most people were expecting it to be at least somewhat feature-rich like Nova or Niagara launcher. Other than that, I think the Nothing Phone 1's camera performance will also be equally interesting to see. Because in this day and age, cameras are one of the most important features on a phone. Unfortunately, it is also where many brands fail to deliver. Plus, big companies like Samsung, Google, and the BBK brands already have a far larger R&D team working on enhancing their cameras. So whether a Phone 1's cameras will manage to compete is something that remains to be seen. But all in all, the Nothing Phone, even before its launch, has managed to do something that very few smartphones have managed to do in a long time. That is create hype and excitement among smartphone enthusiasts. However, don't fall for the hype just yet, because Nothing is not going to revolutionize the smartphone industry overnight. So maybe the company shouldn't have hyped it up as much as it did, because such hype raises people's expectations to unrealistic proportions. And maybe Nothing could have certainly communicated its ambitions and achievements with a lot more modesty as well. But what's done is done. People are amped up, and so am I. Now it's just a matter of weeks before we find out if the Phone 1 lives up to the hype or not. So guys, thanks for watching this video, and just wanted to give you a little heads up. We are giving away the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and the Pixel 6 Pro to 3 of our lucky followers. All you have to do to enter is click on the Gleam link given in the description and follow the steps. All the best to everyone, and thank you so much for watching again.